saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? You're going to learn later on, Galileans is another phrase for northern Israelites or Jews who didn't stay in Jerusalem. So to call someone a Galilean, you recognize he's Jacob, he's just not from Judah. Yeshua started his ministry in the land of the Gentiles, the Sea of Galilee. So he just says, aren't these all Galileans? Not Gentiles, they're Israelites. They're not born around here. How are they speaking the Lashon Kadash? How do they... Let's continue on here, family. Let's continue on. Verse 8. And how we hear every man in our own tongue wherein we were born. So this, I try to track down the speaker here, but this has to be a true Jew, someone from Judah, saying, how we hear all these visitors, not being strangers, but they're no longer native to Israel. How do we hear all these Galileans speak in our tongue? You got to find the who, what, when, and where, and why when you're reading. So here's a Jew, someone from the tribe of Judah, who lived in Judah, asking, how do we hear them speak in our tongue? Let's get some more of this, y'all. Verse 9. Parthians and Medes, Elamites, and the dwellers of Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. Verse 11. Cretes, Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of Yah. So he just confirmed again, we hear them, we hear all these men, Galileans, Israelites, who are no longer natives, they're speaking in our tongue. So I grew up in church family, and every Pentecost Sunday, whole church is white, the pews got the white sheets on it, I'm dressed in my little white outfit, everyone dressed in white, and at the end of every service, you best believe, y'all line up on both sides of the church, y'all come up here, get hands laid on you, and we all speak in tongue. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. There it go, there it go, there it go. Like what? Even and you gotta stay there, you gotta say something, because they ain't gonna let you go back and sit down. So I'm like, he got it. He got what? These people wasn't speaking in an unknown tongue. They were speaking Hebrew, the Lashon Kadash, and the native to Judah was like, yo, they live in Arabia now. They're born and raised in Arabia. They speak Arabic, but now they come back home to an Israelite feast. The Spirit comes in, and now everyone is speaking the Lashon Kadash. What's going on here? The Most High was foreshadowing. Jacob is in Russia. Jacob is in the UK. Jacob is all around the globe, and this was foreshadowing. Let's learn something on our way to learning something. I got that from an elder. Joseph's coat of many colors. That was foreshadowing that we were going to be under all kind of flags. We're under the old great red and white and blue. But we got brothers in Ghana. They got red, white, Jamaicans. These are all colors, flags. Joseph's coat was foreshadowing, y'all. We were going to be under many flags. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, so, family, they wasn't speaking some unknown tongue, heavenly tongue. They were speaking Hebrew. Let's finish this up. Acts 2 and 12. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, what means this? And others mocking said, these men are all full of new wine. So we got to keep things in context historically. This is an Israelite feast. The seminary people, they put the Jewish label on everything. There's only one tribe that you can call Jewish. We're all Israelites. So this is an Israelite custom given to us by the Most High. Paul at this time, Paul is an enemy of Nazarites. Paul at this time is a Pharisee. Paul is going around Jerusalem. He's killing Nazarites. So the one you say got the mission to go get Gentiles, he's nowhere around. He's our enemy. So how can any Gentiles be here the day of Pentecost to take over for us. It's false doctrine. It's false doctrine. So let's break down Jews, devout men. Jews, devout men. So for the second time, I won't do this, but all of you are Bereans. On your own time, pull up the Bible maps and pull up all these cities. Pull up all these cities on the Bible maps. So one of the ones they called out was Parthians, right? Parthians. If you do the research, Parthians was a city in the land of the Medes. Parthia was a city around the land of the Medes, right? Let's go back to Esther 1. And this is why they don't have no understanding. Because they don't read the Old Testament. They go to church to get a good, feel-good message, read something about Paul, and hit that organ. Let's shout, let's sweat our weave out. But you don't got no understanding. Because they don't read the Old Testament. So Parthia, if you pull up Bible maps, Parthia is right there in the land of the Medes, right? So let's go to Esther chapter 1. Esther's right after Nehemiah. So, your mic's good, Ara. All right, so one of the cities called out was the city of Parthia, right? There was Parthians there, right? Esther chapter 1, we there? Esther 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even into Ethiopia. This king of Persia reigned from India all the way to Ethiopia, right? Over 127 provinces. So, this is the second beast. This is the Persians. This is their reign. And he's ruling from India all the way to Ethiopia, right? Let's drop down to verse 9. Esther 1 and 9. Esther 1 and 9. I'm sorry. I meant 7. That should be 7 and 9. I believe it's 7 and 9. Or was it 9? 8 and 9? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's 8 and 9. I didn't change that. Esther 8 and 9. Shimon? Esther 8 and 9. So this Persian king is ruling the world pretty much. Now let's get Esther 8 and 9. It says, then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia. 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. So Mordecai, y'all know the story about Purim. Mordecai has won favor, and now we done killed Haman, and now Esther went back in and telling the king, write this decree throughout all your empire to save my nation. So Mordecai is confirming and telling them what to write, and he's telling them, he's translating the Jews' language for them. But they're writing this in every language throughout these 127 provinces. They're writing this decree from the king, right? And verse 10. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries. So already in the book of Esther, we're scattered throughout the whole world. So the Parthians, the Medes, the Edomites, these are all provinces that this king is ruling. So when these cities began to get listed, where these men come from, they're not strangers, they're not Gentiles. They're Israelites who've been under the Greek captivity, they've been under the Persian captivity. They are Israelites coming back home for an Israelite feast. No Gentile would want nothing to do with our they call us superstitious, family. They wouldn't want nothing to do with this. False doctrine got to stop. Let's go to Esther chapter 9, verse 30. Esther chapter 9, verse 30. Enough of the lies. Let's put our heritage, our culture back into these letters. Esther 9, verse 30. Shema.
Shema.
And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of fasting and their cry. So already in Esther, under the Babylonians sent us around the world to fight for them. The Persians sent us around the world to fight for them. And then when the Greeks came, they sold us and sent us to be their servants. So the day of Pentecost ain't no strangers, ain't no Gentiles. These are Israelites coming back home. Israelites coming back home. So while we're still in the Old Testament, let's get 2 Kings. 2 Kings 17. And this is going to verify these people come from the Medes or Media. 2 Kings 17. 2 Kings chapter 17. Brother Ira, you got questions? 2 Kings 17, we're going to pick it up at verse 6. 2 Kings 17, verse 6. Shema. So, it lists that some of these men came from the city of the Medes, right? This is 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Harbor by the river of Gozan and in the city of the Medes. So already, because northern Israel, they first rebelled against the law, statutes, and commandments. Northern Israel or Ephraim, King Hoshea was an evil king. Yah says, I'm raising up the king of Assyria to come get y'all and take y'all out my sight. So we had Israelites in the land and the cities of all the Medes well before the day of Pentecost. So these men at the day of Pentecost that the church said we will replace, they're Israelites coming back home. It ain't nobody replacing us.
We're going back to Esther 9 anyway, or 8. Oh, Esther 8.
I just got it out the way since we was there.
Oh, okay.
You want us to pick up Esther 8 and what verse out?
The last one, 17. We were talking about the reason why they would want to even, you were saying that why would they even want to come and join us in our celebrations? Well, this tells you kind of why they would at this time.
Right, so this is Esther 8, and we'll pick it up at 16. Esther 8 and 16. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. Verse 17. And in every province, in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. All praise is kind. So that's been the rhythm of our captivity. The Most High rewards us. Other nations say, oh yeah, I'm one too. Again, when I open up with that us too movement, but then when we refuse to stay with Yah, and Yah sends another nation, and they see how we're being filleted, that one relief, y'all see us being filleted alive. So this verse is absolutely right. When we were being prosperous, Everyone wanted to be with us. But when Yahweh sent another kingdom to tear us down, I ain't no Jew. I ain't one of them. So that's been the rhythm. But at the point, the time in history of Pentecost, no one wants to be with us. We just went through Greek captivity. We're going to get to that in Maccabees. And now Rome is our captives. So that's a great point. At this point, we have some favor. Everyone, us too. We're one of you too. But by the time Pentecost comes, the favor is gone. Nobody wants to be with us. All praises.
Sister Barbara saying Jeremiah 30, but I asked her what verse.
Jeremiah 30. So did we finish 2 Kings 17 and 6? So we finished that. All praises. So we want to go back and pick up Jeremiah 30.
She's asking about in Jeremiah 30. I'm not sure what she did. I asked her what verse. I don't know if she's talking about verse 7.
Let's see where she's at.
She didn't say. She never responded. So.
Jeremiah 30. Which one? Let me go back one slide. So.
Jeremiah 30 and 11?
We did Jeremiah 30 and 11, didn't we? That's when the nations get destroyed. So I'm not sure. Sister Bart, if the verse come back to you, let us know. We'll go back to Jeremiah. So, just so we're all on track, the day of Pentecost, according to the Christians, is the day that the Gentile church has replaced the Israelites. We just went over some history in the Bible that those devout men from under every nation, they were Israelites. We just went over history saying the Most High will never forget about Israel. He's going to destroy the nations where we went to. So if he's going to destroy every nation we went to, Rome, America, Haiti, how can these nations replace us? How can these nations replace us? To say that we've been replaced is false doctrine. These Israelites are here celebrating an Israelite feast. They're not in a church, they're in a house. And according to the Torah, we ain't supposed to eat with Gentiles. So that's another thing. The church don't learn Torah, so they don't, a real Jew, I'm telling you family, I got some history, we're snobbish people. If you don't circumcise his son, get him out of here. Get him out of here. We don't let no one come eat with us. So they're inside a house, probably a huge house, but ain't no Gentile there. They're all Nazarites, and they're hiding out from the They're all Nazarites, and they're hiding out from the Pharisees. They're hiding out from the Jews who killed Messiah. There's no Gentile with us. These are all Nazarites when this day of Pentecost fell. So the false doctrine of Christianity is a lie. It's a lie from the pits of hell. So if your elder, your pastor, your bishop, I don't care what fancy title they take, if they say they got some fresh word from God, some fresh manna, and their fresh manna contradicts the Most High, well, they ain't manna they got. They got a fresh loaf of dung. And it didn't come from the Most High. It came from the devil, who's the author and finisher of every lie. Humble yourself and get some understanding. Your curriculum is garbage. Your bishop, Jakes, Creflo Dollar, they're garbage. If they don't repent before Yeshua comes, they will have hell to pay. I'm tired of playing with these men. I'm tired of you playing with my nation, with our young men and daughters. Got them miming in the church. And where's that in the Bible? Miming, order my steps. No. Order this Torah in your life. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. So, Sister Barbara, if that verse come back to you, let us know.
She said it was for Brother Ira. Brother Ira had questions about Jeremiah.
Okay, all praises, all praises. So, we just read 2 Kings 17:6. We went over Esther, proving that the Jews already, by the book of Esther, during the Median captivity, the Persian and the Medes captivity, we were already scattered over 127 provinces. Before the Greeks and Romans even came, Babylon has scattered us, and then the Persians and Medes has scattered us. So these Israelites coming back home can't be Gentiles. So let's get some more witnesses why these men are coming from every nation. Let's go to Isaiah 41. Yashayah 41. Isaiah 41 or Yashayah 41. Yashayah 41, his name is the same as the Messiah's name. So Yashayah is another form of Yeshua. Yeshaya is another form of our King's name. Yashayah, Yah is salvation. Isaiah 41, and we're going to pick it up at verse 11. I'm sorry, verse 8. Shema?
Shema.
Shema.
All right, can you pick it up for us, verses 8 and 9, please?
But thou, Yasharal, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away.
False doctrine just crumbled. He says, Abraham, the seed of Abraham, my friend. I've chosen you from the ends of the earth. These men coming home is just a foreshadowing what's about to happen real soon. We're coming from the ends of the earth, not just from Poland and Germany and Russia. When the Most High says, I scattered you to the end, it's not a euphemism. He means I'm scattering y'all to the end of the earth. So guess what? It's somebody with dreads looking like Markel in Antarctica with a big parker on who's finding out he's Israel. There's somebody in Alaska finding out I ain't supposed to be in this frozen tundra. I'm from Israel. The Most High, that's the thing that the Christian doctrine, that's how they duped us. Oh, it's a metaphor, it's symbolism. No, ain't no. It's the Most High says, I'm scattering you to the ends of the earth. We're coming back home soon, y'all. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, the next one to verify who these men coming from the end of every nation is, let's go to Ezekiel 11 and 16. I think we might have touched that already. Ezekiel 11 and 16. And then we're going to get some history. I think we're going to cut it off for the day. Ezekiel 11 and 16. I got some history to arm you with some truth, to win your family out of that Christianity, to win them out of that false religion. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. Shema?
Shema.
Shema.
All right, can you read that for us, please?
Therefore say, Thus saith the Lord God, although I have cast them far among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
So that's again confirmation. The reason why we got some kind of luxuries in these cities is because the Most High's favor, not because we voted, not because you done got a degree. No, please, they don't care about what you voting, just to help them. But the Most High is causing them to, he's allowing them or forcing them to show us some kind of civility. It's not the election box doing this. It's the Most High. And we're not just scattered in America. There's more Israelites back home in Africa than there is anywhere around the world. That little picture of Africa they cut out show you is false doctrine. Africa is the hugest landmass in the world. You can fit the United States in there, I think in Mexico. So most of our family are still back home in Africa. But we've been scattered around the world. We the only ones been scattered around the world. So these brothers coming back home are not Gentiles who happy to know about a Messiah. These are Israelites coming back home. So let's go.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Verse 20, same right there in the same chapter 11.
Ezekiel 11 and 20. Go ahead, Op.
That they may walk in my statutes and keep mine ordinances and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God.
So if you don't come back, go ahead. Go ahead, Albert.
So how is it done away with? What ordinances? What statutes? What standard are you holding yourself to if you ain't going by what he wrote in the book some folk don't read no more.
It's in black and white, family. You don't need a seminary degree. You don't have to apply that Greek method of exegesis and let me see what the text really mean. Every matter of fact, if you do a study, go back and pull up some prophecies. Every prophecy that was given, the Most High gave the explanation what it meant. So their doctrine that the Bible is full of symbolism. Those ain't, no, the Bible is not full of symbolism. Everything that was given as a symbol, the Most High explained it to the prophet what it meant. Daniel's dreams, he explained what it meant. So if you don't come back to the law, statutes, commandments, you have no salvation. What are you? All the praise breaks, all your little gospel quakes and all that, it's for nothing. It's for naught. It's for naught. So now we're going to get into some history, and we're going to further give you some strength to teach people who these Gentiles were inside the New Testament. So sometimes referred to as Galileans, we got proof of that because the brother in Acts says, are these not all Galileans? So sometimes a Hebrew Gentile was referred to as a Galilean. Galilee became that euphemism for an Israelite who no longer lived in Judea, or he was raised outside of Jerusalem altogether. He was raised in Spain, anywhere, to a Jew, to the tribe of Judah, to distinguish that we're Judah and we stayed home. They would call the others Galileans. So that's I don't know if it was a direct slur to them. It's something Judah did. Judah's like letting you know I'm the natural vine, because he cast Northern Israel away. Northern Israel became known as bastards. So when the Messiah says I'm bringing back those two sticks, Judah still had that little air like, yeah, but we always had Torah. Y'all just coming back getting this. So now let's give you some concrete history.
I have a question. Was Nazareth?
Nazarite, yeah, that was a slur. That was
northern.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was Northern Israel.
Because when he said, "Can anything good
come out of
Nash?"
Nash, yeah, and that's something I got from the Talmud. The Talmud says that the rabbis who killed Messiah called them Nazarites, and they was being like smart. They was being snobbish. Like, y'all believe in that Nazarite? Like, so at first the term Nazarite was a slur, but we took it as a badge of honor. Y'all heard something? So Galilean and Nazarite are code words or euphemism for Israelites that's not from the tribe of Judah. That's what that slur is. That's what those names is. So sometimes you hear them referred to as Galileans or Nazarites, or these translations say Gentiles. But we're going to give you some history to show you these are not real Gentiles. These are not real Gentiles. So I want to share with you the antiquity of the Jews, and this is going to be book 14, and we're going to go over some passages in chapter 10, and this is by Josephus, right? And there's a PDF online I can share with y'all, email it to y'all, and this is some history about our people to prove who these people were inside the New Testament. And after we go over this, you're going to be able clearly to see that Paul and none of these people, none of these cities are strangers. These are Israelites living in these cities. So, okay, all praises. So we're going to go over some history in Josephus and show y'all how all these cities that's listed in Acts, they were cities where our fathers, the Jews who were spread under Greek captivity, were sent to. All right, check 1 2 1 2. So this is not the real Josephus, but if you're looking for this PDF, this is how you'll know you have the complete works of Josephus. And this is a collection, I think, of all but one of his writings. But that's not him, so don't worry about that whitewashed Renaissance image. But it gives you the history of who he was. He runs down his patrimony all the way back to Aaron. Every priest, every Levite was required to do that. If a Levite, I'm good, babe. If a Levite don't run back his fathers back to Aaron, he's a false Levite. He's a false priest. So the first witness we're going to go to, don't do this to me. Okay. It's acting slow, y'all, so just give us some time. So this is one, and I'm sorry I can't put the chapter. This is book 14, Antiquity of the Jews, book 14, and this is chapter 3. Chapter 3. It says here, let me try to make it bigger. How's that? Can y'all see that?
Shema.
So this is Josephus. He says, for as the Jewish nation is widely dispersed over all the habitable earth among its inhabitants, so it is very much intermingled with Syria by reason of its neighborhood. So Josephus, he lived, I think he was born like 4 years after Messiah was crucified. And his history, his work is verified. You guys can do your own research, please do. But Josephus was an eyewitness when Titus and Vespasian came and destroyed Jerusalem. He was trying to fight against them. They took him captive, and Josephus winds up prophesying over Titus and Vespasian that they're going to be king of Rome. And they didn't believe him right away. They listened to what he had to say. But then when Nero committed suicide and Vespasian became emperor, they believed Josephus and pretty much gave him honor. And Josephus recorded everything that happened. So Josephus is bearing witness that the Jewish nation is widely dispersed over all the habitable earth. He's bearing witness, right? So it says, and had the greatest multitudes in Antioch by reason of the largest of this city. So wait a minute. Had the greatest multitudes in Antioch, the Jews in Antioch. Where were we first called Christians at? In Antioch. So all these letters in the New Testament, they're not written to strange nations to win them to Christ. They're written to keep our hearts strong while we wait on the Messiah's return. They're written to keep us from going back to idolatry and saying, oh, this king's not coming, and going to these other gods, going to the election booth, begging for a vote to change our circumstance. That's why these elders wrote these letters. So we had Jews all over the earth, and the largest concentration of Jews were in Antioch. It says, wherein the kings, after Antiochus, had afforded them a habitation with the most undisturbed tranquility. They left us alone. For though Antiochus, who was called Epiphanes, laid Jerusalem waste and spoiled the temple, yet did those that succeeded him in the kingdom restore all the donations that were made of brass to the Jews of Antioch. So we had Jews all over the world, family. New Testament is written to Jews, Israelites. I just get one more here. And granted them the enjoyment of equal privileges of citizens with the Greeks themselves. So at this time, the real Greeks were still in the lands where their Greek elders had conquered. But it's saying we were in Antioch and we were given regular citizenship. You got to treat us like the rest of the Greeks. So that's why when the New Testament comes in on the scene, they're calling our elders Greeks because we started living like the Greeks, not because we're from the seed of the Greeks. Let's get our next witness here. Jews of Delos, and of Aro. Wow.
I'll come back to it. So here's another witness. Julius Caius, praetor or council of Rome, to the magistrates, senate, and people of the Parians, sends greetings. The Jews of Delos and some other Jews that sojourn there, in the presence of your ambassadors, signify to us that by a decree of yours, you forbid them to make use of the customs of their forefathers and their way of sacred worship. So our elders kept writing to the Romans, because we had a friendship with them, saying, look, these Greeks keep oppressing us. And Rome became that first big brother, like the U.S. is right now. Rome was the first big brother. So our high priest Eleazar is sending letters saying, look, these Jews, Slakia, these Greeks won't let us practice our customs. And this Roman praetor is addressing the situation. It's addressing the situation. He says, now it does not please me that such decrees should be made against our friends and confederates. Rome started off as our friends and our protectors, family. That's who Paul was writing to. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's who his letter to the Romans were to. Not to Italians, to Israelites living in Rome. This is all history you don't get inside seminary. But I had one doctor told me he read Josephus, but he knows none of this. Knows none of this. So let's continue on here. For even Caius, this word right here is not Caesar, it's Khazar. We brought that out before. That's a hard C, it's a Khazar. They took on that Khazar title to make a league with the Khazars, the kingdom of Khazaria. So these Khazar Jews and Romans are family. We have no allies. Rome is running the world. Rome and the Khazars are allies. So no Jewish rabbi telling you that, yeah, the Africans are Israelites. He's not your friend, family. It's all a ploy. So Khazar is their honor, giving honor to their marriage to the Khazarian Empire. Rome and the Khazars are the same people. So it says, for even Caius Caesar, our imperator and council, in that decree wherein he forbade the Bacchanal rioters to meet in the city, did yet permit these Jews, and these only, both to bring in their contributions and to make their common suppers. So he's saying, listen, everyone else has been forbidden to do this little Bacchanal riots, but the Jews have been granted permission to keep their traditions. We're all over the place, family. We are scattered to the four corners. The New Testament is not for strangers. Let's get the next one. So that's Jews of Delos, right? Jews of Delos. Where am I? I went too far. They come. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna knock your socks off. Hope you're sitting down for this. Hope you're sitting down for this, y'all. Hyrcanus sent also one of these ambassadors to Dolabella, who was then the prefect of Asia. So Dolabella is the governor of Asia. Asia is an old word for east. We are Asians, people. Anybody east of Rome and Greece, the Romans and the Greeks called them Asians. So we are Asians, people. So Dolabella was then the prefect of Asia and desired him to dismiss the Jews from military service. Hyrcanus, the high priest, is writing a letter to the governor, Dolabella is his name, and he's saying, please dismiss the Jews from military service and to preserve to them the customs of their forefathers and to permit them to live according to them. So, family, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we had an order, a decree that we no longer had to serve in the military. What's the famous soldier they try to say is a Gentile who Paul went and talked to? Cornelius. That's when they say, see, Paul went to Cornelius, he had that dream, or Peter had that dream about anything unclean. family, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to cover Romans, but on your own time, go back and check Cornelius out. He's praying during the Hebrew prayer times. We pray at sunrise, which will be 0 o'clock. We pray at the third hour, which is 9 a.m. We pray at the 6th hour, which is 12 noon. We pray again at the 9th hour, which is 3 p.m. And then 6 p.m. within our daylight time. These are all temple prayer times. So how is Cornelius a Gentile and he knows the Hebrew or the Israelite prayer schedule? Then the angel appears to Cornelius, and the angel tells Cornelius, your prayers and your alms have come up to the Most High. Well, family, giving alms is an Israelite custom. It's a commandment. We are to give alms to the widows and to the poor people. So how is this Cornelius a Gentile and he's giving alms following the Torah? Now, the second thing, I'm going to knock the false doctrine out of the water here. Let's go to Proverbs 28 and 9. Proverbs 8 and 29. Let's see if Cornelius is really a Gentile. Proverbs 28 and 9. Shemai, you got it? Proverbs 28 and 9. Ira, can you grab that when you got it, Ira?
Shemai.
Proverbs 28 and 9. Read.
All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There's nothing.
Which verse you read, Ira?
8 and 9.
28 and 9. I'm sorry. 28. 28 and 9. You got it?
28 and 9.
Come.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination.
Whoa. So how is this Gentile praying and the Most High hears him if he don't follow the law? If we got to follow the law for our prayers to be heard, he's going to give the Gentile a pass? No. Cornelius is an Israelite serving in the Italian band. At this time in history, Romans conquered the world, and everywhere they're conquering, they got soldiers. So in Persia, I may be part of the Persian band, but Rome is our taskmaster. So Cornelius is part of the Italian band, meaning he's in the military, he's with the troops from Italy, but he's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. And the dream about eating unclean and clean things, our people lost their way and lost their identity way before the slave ships. So Paul didn't know Cornelius was an Israelite because we were already scattered. So to Paul or Peter, Cornelius on the surface would appear to be a Gentile. And that's why the Most High gave him that dream. What I have cleansed, call not thou common or unclean. That wasn't about food. It was about Cornelius being not Nazarite. Cornelius being a Galilean, Cornelius being a Hebrew Gentile, I've cleansed him. So don't you worry about how much Torah he don't know or do know. He's an Israelite. He's a Galilean. I've cleansed Cornelius. Cornelius is not a Gentile. There's no way around that. Nowhere around that. So the Jews are now released from military duty for the Romans, and we can practice our customs. We can practice our customs, and these are for the Jews in Asia. Asia is all of that, Galatia, Pontus, all those cities, the 7 churches, all that is Asia. You had Asia Minor and you had Asia. All that is where we were scattered at. We are Asians, people. So let's continue on here, family. And when Dolabella had received Hyrcanus' letters, without further deliberation, he sent an epistle to all the Asiatics, and particularly to the city of the Ephesians, the metropolis of Asia, about the Jews. So we got Jews in Ephesus. So Paul's letter to the Ephesians is to Jews. It's not to Ephesians, not to Greeks. The seminary has no understanding. Your curriculum is lacking. Your curriculum is lacking. Let's go to our next piece of evidence. Oh, here we go. Our next piece of evidence. And we're going to stop with these. We're going to stop here with Josephus for today. This is another witness. And these were the concessions that Dolabella made to our nation when Hyrcanus sent a embassage to him. But Lucius, the council's decree ran thus: I have at my tribunal set these Jews who are citizens of Rome. Did y'all catch that? I have at my tribunal set these Jews who are citizens of Rome and follow the Jewish religious rites, and yet live at Ephesus, free from going into the army on account of the superstition they are under. So the letter to the Ephesians are letters to Israelites. Every epistle in the New Testament is to Israelites. Your doctrine is destroyed. Next witness. Next witness. I'm tired of playing with these people. Next witness, Jews of Alexandria. This is Egypt. The Jews that are our fellow citizens of Rome came to me and demonstrated that they had an assembly of their own, according to the laws of their forefathers, and this from the beginning, as also a place of their own, wherein they determined their suits and controversies with one another. He's telling them, we got a Sanhedrin court already set up. We don't need the Greek courts no more. We don't need the Roman courts. Us Jews have our own society. Upon their petition, therefore, to me, that these might be lawful for them, I gave order that their privileges be preserved, and they may be permitted to do accordingly. Family, untold history. Here's another witness. The declaration of Marcus Publius, the son of Spurius, and of Marcus, the son of Marcus, and of Lucius, the son of Publius. We went to the proconsul and informed him of what Josephus, the son of Cleopatra of Alexandria, desired, that if he thought good, he would dismiss the Jews who were Roman citizens. So here's Alexandria, a city in Egypt, and there's Jews there who have become Roman citizens. Family, when the Most High says, I'm going to scatter you under the sun, under the whole earth, he means it. The New Testament is not written to Gentiles. There's no Gentiles in Acts. There's no Gentiles in Ephesians. There's no Gentiles in none of Paul's letters. They're Hebrew Israelites who've been raised under Greek captivity. That's why he calls them Gentiles. They're not real Gentiles. Let's go to our next witness here. Jews of Laodicean. Jews of Laodiceans. The magistrates of the Laodiceans of Caius Rubulus, the son of so-and-so council, sends greetings. So Peter, the ambassador of Hyrcanus, the high priest, he's a real Levite. He's the last authentic Levite we had, Hyrcanus. He's a Maccabee. Have delivered us an epistle from thee, whereby he lets us know that certain ambassadors were come from Hyrcanus, the high priest of the Jews, and brought an epistle written concerning their nation, wherein they desire that the Jews may be allowed to observe their Sabbaths. Laodicea. There's Jews in Laodicea. Maccabee says, we have found in writing that the Laodiceans are sons of Abraham. So Laodicea, they're Israelites. They're Israelites. It's all through Josephus, family. Let me go on to the next. We'll be all day with Josephus. Jews of, I can't say this word, but we're going to read it. Salans. Here's another city. Publius Servius, the son of Publius of the Galban tribe, the proconsuls, to the magistrates, senate, and the people of Salans, sends greetings. Pretens, the son of Hermes, a citizen of yours, came to me when I was at Trellis and held a court there, and informed me that you use the Jews in a way different from my opinion. So we got Jews and Mousesands, and now someone snitched that these Greeks are abusing them and forbade them to celebrate their Sabbaths and to perform the sacred rites received from their forefathers. So here's another city, Mouselands, and there's Jews there. So the day of Pentecost, all those cities that's mentioned, they're not Gentiles, family. They're Israelites. They're Galileans. They're Hebrew Gentiles coming back home to honor the Most High. Let's go to the next one. The decree of those of Pergamos. Here's another city where Jews are at. The decree of those of Pergamos. Let me just skip to the Jews. Following the conduct of their ancestors, undertake dangers for the common safety of all mankind, and are ambitious to settle their confederates and friends in happiness. So this is the Roman. Let me start over, family. I ain't gonna rush y'all. So this is the decree of those of Pergamos. Since the Romans, following the conduct of their ancestors, undertake dangers for the common safety of all mankind. So the Romans are following their ancestors, and they're playing big brother to keep the whole world at peace. And it says, and they are ambitious to settle their confederates and friends in happiness and in firm peace. And since the nation of the Jews and their high priest Hyrcanus sent as ambassadors to them, Strato, the son of Theodatus, and Apollonius, the son of Alexander, boom, boom, boom. The Senate thereupon made a decree about what they had desired of them, that Antiochus, the king, the son of Antiochus, should do no injury to the Jews. So we got Jews in Pergamos, and there's a letter being sent to them that the Jews are friends of the Romans, and they are to suffer no harm. Jews are all over the world, family, all over the world. Let's get our next one. Jews of Halicarnassus, how do you say that? The decree of those of Halicarnassus, and I'm going to read those names. It says, the decree of the people upon the representation of Marcus Alexander was this: since we have ever a great regard to piety towards God and to holiness, since we aim to follow the people of the Romans, who are the benefactors of all men, Romans are friends to anybody who want to be friends with them, and what they have written to us about a league of friendship and mutual assistance between the Jews and our city. The Jews in our city, and the city is Halicarnassus. There's no Gentiles at the day of Pentecost. There's no Gentiles there. I think this may be almost the last one. But now when Agrippa and Herod were in Ionia, Ionia is a different spelling for Javan. Javan is one of Noah's grandsons. That's where the Greeks come from. But now when Agrippa and Herod were in Ionia, a great multitude of Jews who dwelt in their cities came to them, and laying hold of the opportunity and the liberty now given them, laid before them the injuries which they suffered. So here's Agrippa and Herod in Ionia, and now a great multitude of Israelites are running to them to tell them how the Greeks have been abusing us. We are all over the planet. There's no Jews, there's no Gentiles in the New Testament, family. They are all sons of Jacob. Paul did not write one letter to a Gentile. And I got a couple more here. Here's the truth about the Greeks, family. It says, when Nicholas had made this speech, there was no opposition made to it by the Greeks. For this was not an inquiry made as in a court of justice, but an intercession to prevent violence to be offered to the Jews any longer. Nor did the Greeks make any defense of themselves or deny what it was supposed that had been done. So the Greeks ain't lying, ain't denying that they've been abusing us. That's what he's saying. The Greeks don't deny it. It says, their pretense was no more than this, that while the Jews inhabited in their country, they were entirely unjust to them in not joining in their worship. But they demonstrated their generosity in this, that though they worship according to their institutions, they did nothing that ought to grieve them. So when Agrippa perceived that they had been oppressed by violence, he made the answer. So the real Greeks here are saying, listen, we ain't gonna pretend that we treated them nice. We didn't follow their religion, but we didn't stop them from practicing their religion. So now that Agrippa and Herod are in their area, they're trying to cop pleas. They're trying to pretty much save their own skin. But here we got Jews in the land of the Greeks. So a real Jew would call them Greeks because they no longer kept Torah, but they're not Greeks. They're not Gentiles. They're Israelites. Let's get a couple more here. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Jews of Cyrene and Libya. Jews of Cyrene and Libya. And then we go back and read those cities in Acts. Now the cities ill-treated the Jews in Asia, and all those also of the same nation which lived ill Libya, which joins to Cyrene, while the former kings had given them equal privileges with other citizens. But the Greeks affronted them at this time. So we got Greeks living in Libya. I'm sorry, SELAH family. We got Jews living in Libya, and we got Jews living in Cyrene, and the Greeks are attacking them. The Greeks are attacking them. Jews in Libya and Jews in Cyrene. Is that the last one? That's a redundant one here. We'll read it here. Agrippa also did himself right after the manner following. On behalf of the Jews, Agrippa to the magistrates, senate, and people of the Ephesians, family, case closed. No letter of the New Testament, Romans, Ephesians, Timothy, Galatians, none of those letters are to Gentiles or Greeks. They are to Israelites who have been brought up in Greek culture. So to a Jew like Paul, who never lost the Torah, he would refer to them as Greeks or Gentiles because he's letting the people know these are not native of Judah. These are not the Jews who stayed home. I'm writing to you afar off, but y'all are Israelites. Y'all are Israelites. All praises. So now we can go back to the presentation and we'll wrap up for here and we'll continue next week. Let me stop that share. So we're going to go back to the presentation. And we're going to wrap up with Acts, and we're going to go over those cities again to show you that those cities being listed, they're not listing those cities to show the world that Christ has died now, and now the whole world can come in and be in the church of Christ. That's the doctrine the church teach, and it's false doctrine. Those cities are being listed because these are Israelites coming back home. So let me pull this back over. We got a lot more to go over. We're going to have to break this down in parts because it's a lot of history, and I don't want to rush it. I don't want to gloss over it because the seminary preachers are very slick, and if you're not comfortable, they'll make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. Let me share my screen. Give me a second to share the screen with y'all, and we're going to wrap here. So now going over that, can you see the screen, family? It's spinning.
Shemai.
So now that we brought out that history by Josephus, Now, family, when you read the book of Acts, Acts was not written to Gentiles. The apostles are not going on a world tour to win strangers to Christ. The day of Pentecost did not have one Gentile there. All those nations that's mentioned, what's on your screen, Gina?
Jews under every nation.
So all those Jews under every nation in Acts, those are Israelites coming back home to celebrate an Israelite feast. We just went over Jews of Delos, Jews of Sardinians, Jews of Ephesus, Jews of Alexandria, Jews of Laodicea, Jews of Pergamos, and Jews of Halicarnassus. All these places are where the Israelites are. And since I got the scriptures on the screen, let's finish up with Maccabees. Let's finish here with Maccabees. Let's go to 1 Maccabees 1 and 4. 141. We're going to go, if you got your, I'll pull it up on the screen. We're going to 1 Maccabees 1 and 41. And then we're going to go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 5. And that's where we're at for today. So let me do a new screen share in case you don't have the Apocrypha at home. And with this information, no Christian preacher will be able to lie to you again, and you'll be able to show your family that the Christian doctrine just don't hold up to the Bible. The Christian doctrine don't hold up to the Bible. So we're going to go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 41. Let me get this situated for y'all. This is the history that they don't read in the church because they believe these books are non-canonical, and they don't realize that term canon and canonical are Catholic terms. So you're letting a Catholic priest tell you the truth about your scrolls. Y'all got in-house, y'all got your Bible first? So I'm just going to share it on my screen on this side. So when you let someone tell you what's canonical and what's not canonical, you miss out on the truth of who you really are. Fam, those online, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see the Bible?
No.
No. Okay.
Got it now.
It came through?
Yes, yeah.
Con.
Wow. Let's move it back to the TV. Did it go to your side, babe? Let me move it back. All right. It's still showing the Bible.
No, you changed the screen.
So
I got some maps.
You got some maps?
Yes. Maps of Elam.
Yeah, let me stop sharing. All right. I'm gonna start another share. how about now? Is the Bible up?
Con.
So, all praises. Thank you, Brother Benham. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 41 to give you some history. And this is what the Christian church don't read. First Maccabees 1 and 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed, according to the commandments of the king. Yea, also, Salakim, verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice, and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols. That's why they call their church chapels. Chapels are houses of idols. And if Jesus is in there, you know it's an idol. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Verse 49, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Verse 50, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he should die. So that's why when Paul comes on the scene and he's sending letters throughout Europe, he's telling them, we know y'all don't have the Torah. We know why you don't have the Torah. That's why he's calling them Gentiles, and he's telling them, don't worry about circumcision. He's not telling them that the law is done away with. He's trying to get them somewhere back in the neighborhood. The law of circumcision has never been done away with, because in Ezekiel 44, he says that those uncircumcised in flesh and heart can't come into the city. So why would Paul tell them, don't worry about circumcision? No, Paul knows their condition they're in, and he's trying to get some kind of base with them. He's not telling them to forsake the law. Now let's pick up 2 Maccabees, and we'll wrap here for the day, family. 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Let me get the 2 Maccabees chapter 6, and then we'll open up the mic for any questions, comments, or concerns. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, family. We got a lot more history to go over. 2 Maccabees is not in the, oh, come on. Okay. It's a little delay here. 2 Maccabees chapter 6, and just another witness why Paul or the tribe of Judah will refer to our Israelite family as Gentiles. Family, 2 Maccabees on the screen yet?
Shema.
All praises. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 1, then I drop down. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man from Athens to compel the Jews to depart from their laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius. The Olympics are idol worship, family. The Olympics are idol worship. And that in Garism of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. So this old man is coming from Athens, which is in Greece, and he got letters from the king to tell us to forget the law. Let's drop down for the sake of time. Verse 5. The altar was also filled with profane things, which the law forbids. Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Nor was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or profess himself at all to be a Jew. Family, that's why Paul comes on the scene after the Greek captivity, and that's why he's referring to the Israelites as Gentiles and Grecians. Not because they're real Greeks or not because they're real Gentiles, but under the threat of death, they stopped following the law and they couldn't even call themselves a Jew. That's why you see us roaring like lions, telling people, yes, we're Yaakov. Yes, I'm an Israelite. Yes, I wear my fringes. Yes, I have reclaimed my heritage, and I dare you to say something about it. I dare you to try to take it from me. The time now is for us to awake and come back to our heritage. The Bible, from cover to cover, Genesis to Revelation, is only written to Israelites. No other nation is mentioned in those scrolls as being part of the heritage of the Most High. So, family, we're going to end it here, but this is just a tip of the iceberg about the book of Acts and the rest of the New Testament. Paul or none of them were writing to Gentiles or Greeks. They're writing to Israelites who have lost their way. They have lost the Torah, and Paul is taking up the mantle to put the two sticks back together, Ephraim and Judah. That's the mission Messiah sent him on, not to go win these foreigners to some church of Christ.